It is the Riot, and I'm starving.
All right, start the podcast.
And I'll tell you that it really comes from, if you survive all the way to the end of the podcast, you're going to hear a real honest conversation about gas station breakfast foods. and
some drinks thrown in there. Just a little chatter about it.
Coming off of that discussion,
you could go get some
breakfast
pizza. Go get something.
I am ready. Let's get some food up in here.
I noticed we did a Riot anniversary show last week. If you did not watch it, you can watch that at RadioU Riot on Facebook, RadioU Riot on our YouTube channel. But we taste tested these scorchin' Pringles, and the barbecue ones are long gone.
Yes.
But if you go in our break room, if you're just desperate enough, the cheddar ones are there. They're still there. No one wants those.
Why? They were fine.
They didn't taste like cheddar at all.
Yeah, but they were fine. Not good enough.
No, apparently not. Our break room table should be the test spot for a lot of, snack foods and restaurant things, because it tells a lot.
And I'll tell you something else about our break room. There's the table, and then there's the basket.
Yeah.
Which is like off the table. And sometimes food just gets put in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that happens is things that spend too long on the table end up in the basket.
Yeah, it's either a fine thing or like it's one step from the trash can.
If it is migrated from the table to the basket, it's just about worthless.
But I feel like some of those, if it would have spent more time at the table, people would remember it and they would have ate them all.
That's a possibility. I mean, myself, I've been eating every once in a while. I'll wander in there for a white chocolate sugar cookie Hershey Kiss.
Oh, those are still there?
They're in the basket, and you know what?
They get lost in the shuffle.
They're pretty good. I mean, are they amazing? Nah.
But some mornings you don't need that.
Yeah. Oh.
You just need something.
Well, I'll tell you, I will say, you're in the middle of the riot. It's 8 o'clock. Standards are low. Like, they are so low.
Well, let's go have breakfast while you guys enjoy your podcast for today.
In the show today, we talk Barbie Day, sleeping in, Bmx Bandits, maybe the most important thing, Kobe's rookie card, Nike Stadium renewals, cow snuggling.
That one brought in a lot of text messages.
A lot of people had a lot to say about cow snuggling.
They did. So if you have anything you want to throw in there, it's never too late. 877-2-RADIO-U. If you text us, even during a podcast, we'll still get that, and then we can include you in the next show.
Okay. Anything else?
Have a wonderful day. Go get a snack if that's what you're able to do at the start of this podcast. I think we're better with food, so...
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead and eat something while you're listening to us.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. I'll go get something to eat, and you get something to eat, and we'll eat together.
And then enjoy the podcast today. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Yesterday was International Women's Day. Did you guys catch that? Like, it was the Google Doodle. That's how I knew. It helped me make sense of all of the tweets and all the other things that I saw yesterday.
Sure.
It was like, okay, I get it now. Today is National Barbie Day.
Oh, right after.
Doesn't it feel like a weird...
People go back and forth on, like, is Barbie, like...
a feminist icon? Or is she the reason that women hate themselves?
Or is it an addition to the problem? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I was looking. That's the thing today. So if, you find yourself wanting to change careers a lot, listen, just blame it on your childhood. All right? It was ingrained into you.
Barbie said I could do everything. I could be a pilot. I could be a vet. I could be whatever I wanted to be, all at the same time.
And then they came out with committed Barbie, like meaning not the insane asylum, but she's a Barbie that has to choose one career and ride it out.
She has to go through that and decide.
Yeah. So
can't have an empire built on that, Obi.
No, that's a boring doll.
So I don't think that's how they're going to go. They're going to have her do any job she wants to.
Yeah. So get out there today. Yesterday you may have had like a Women's Day cake. I don't know if today that's a leftover cake kind of situation.
I think it works.
You're just like, yeah, it's Barbie Day. You could take a Barbie, set it on top of your piece of cake. Boom.
Again, people are pretty sensitive, but it could be like the Barbie pink, like that iconic pink color.
Yeah. But then here's Barbie busting out of a cake. What do we have? Barbie causing another problem.
Again, you guys are going to have to decide if you want that or not.
I feel like tomorrow's day is going to be a lot less kind of controversial and difficult.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Mario Day.
Oh, that's right.
Because today's March 9th. Tomorrow is March 10th. Mar 10. Mar-I-O. Mario. Yeah,
that'll be better. No one will get mad at that.
It's fine. And Nintendo's offering up to 3% off. So
it may be. We'll see. No one's committed to that yet.
So, I'm just throwing that out there. It's like, make sure that you're ready today. If you got to have some. Oh, the other thing I'll throw at you is today is National Meatball Day.
Oh, my gosh. It's everything, isn't it?
It's everything.
Now I know what dinner is. Dinner is something involving meatballs and then a Barbie pink cake afterwards.
Or you watch a Barbie movie.
And then tomorrow I'll just be planning to honor Mario some way.
Man, just play Switch all day. That sounds good to me.
What a week, right?
Super Mario Galaxy.
We didn't think there was anything good this week, but we've got a lot of stuff.
Don't you believe it?
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I'm not going to tell you how old I was, but there was a moment in my past where I got in trouble for something, kind of like it wasn't a big deal. And now this might surprise you, but I had something of a mouth on me.
No.
And
remember we said if you grew up that way, you're probably good for radio.
You probably are. And actually, there's a lot of things that you're good for. And what got you into trouble will become,
your career,
your
later
life,
in
or
life.
something. It's fine. And so a teacher was going to punish me, and that what I didn't know is I was finding out about it. My friends were in front of me, and I was like, man, she can kiss my butt if she thinks that I'm blah, 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 blah.
Oh, and you didn't know she was right there?
She was right behind me.
Oh.
And then of course, blah, blah, blah. She just played like, oh, no big deal. Like, she's just like, whatever, which I think was actually probably the best way to handle it. She didn't get mad. She didn't anything. She's like, whatever. And then in private, I was like, I'm so sorry that I did that. I'm such a bad, oh my gosh. Please, the mercy of the court, don't hurt me. I'm going to die.
But you were a tough talker when you were out with everybody else.
See, and Nikki, I bring this up because I feel like that's the QAnon shaman. I see
that.
My childhood writ large on the national stage.
Sure.
With the QAnon shaman because he shows up. I mean, think about it. He storms the Senate chambers at the Capitol building of the United States. He wears that spectacular horned hat. And I say spectacular because I can't decide if it's I don't know. And then there are all these great pictures of him yelling. He's constantly yelling. He's wearing those weird pants. I mean, the funny thing about it is it's really working against him because he made himself an icon and now they're coming after him as an icon.
Sure.
And so he's done all kinds of things in prison. He's like, I can't get my regular food in here.
Well, he was the one who went on a food fast until he could get his organic food,
right.
Lost a lot of weight. I think they finally caved and gave him stuff.
Okay. And so then he's tried a few different ways to get released.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, come on,
to get
guys.
out of jail?
Yeah, they're like, at least until my trial, I can go home and hang out.
Does he not have bail or something?
I guess not. I didn't know this. He ended up, the court is furious with him. So, he was supposed to be having this attorney-client whatever. They recorded an interview with 60 Minutes.
Oh, when they were just supposed to be having, a meeting? Oh,
right.
So they didn't really ask.
And all this different stuff. And so the judge was finally just like, you know what? No. You have to stay here. And he's just like, come on. Oh, my gosh. And this
you're tougher on the outside, but when you go inside, then it's, all crying.
He left a note in the Senate that said justice was coming for Mike Pence. And the shaman guy's like, look, you're totally taking that out of context. I was just, leaving him a note. And you're acting all weird, and the judge is in a horned hat and a spear. You left him a note.
Well, you can't judge on the outfit, though.
But I got it at Hot Topic. It's very fashionable these days, sir.
So they're saying that his interview that he did and stuff, they can use that against him for the information that was in there.
It's all bad.
Yeah.
And so the judge is trying to tell him, I don't think you understand how serious your situation is. He's like, come on, dude, bro. We're just hanging, right? I just want to go home.
Find out. Not going to happen.
I got to be at the gym in 20 minutes.
Maybe someone else in the similar situation if it wasn't so high profile. But because of everything that went down and he was like the face of all that, they're going to make sure to get all the stuff done with him they can.
I'm telling you, I feel a kindred spirit there in like the worst, whiniest way possible. Like big words. Total wimp.
Big talker.
Yeah, believe me. If you guys have ever thought that was me, absolutely.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
It's been 3,390 days since Michigan beat Ohio State in football.
Well, there was no game this year.
Right. But in the middle of all of that, Nikki, I want you to know that despite the 3,390 days that the University of Michigan has continued to endure the nonstop shame of having not beaten Ohio State in football, they're still doing research. People are still graduating. Things are still happening.
You mean the school still is continuing? It doesn't shut the school down.
Amazingly enough, the University of Michigan continues.
Okay.
And here's what they say they have discovered. They have been doing some sleep research, and they say that you are better off, and we've heard this a million times, but they got the research to back it up, that on the weekends you shouldn't be sleeping in. You should be getting up.
They actually do say that. You should be keeping somewhat similar of a schedule that you have during the weekday because your body can't recover.
So they used a Fitbit or an Apple Watch to track 2,100 student doctors. And the Fitbit and Apple Watch kept track of their sleepfulness, their wakefulness, and some other stuff. And then the young doctors were asked to fill out questionnaires that are used to clinically diagnose depression. So the ones that had the most shifting sleeping schedules, so there's a direct correlation between them and signs of depression, and that you should maintain a consistent schedule.
That means not just should you be getting up at the same time, but you probably should be going to bed around the same time. No one wants to hear that.
Don't say it.
I know that one's not a fun one, but then it won't make Monday as hard to like shift back into the weekdays, so it won't be as hard for you.
Let me help you with this. Those who regularly stayed up late and or got the fewest hours of sleep
on the weekends,
they scored just in general. They scored higher on depression symptoms and lower on daily mood.
Mood swings.
But the argument that some people are making is you're reading it wrong. People who are depressed have trouble sleeping. It's not that people who are...
Yeah, but I think we know the difference. You know when your schedule's different on the weekends because you look forward to it on Friday and Saturday. Yeah. And tiny bit on Sunday, but not too much because then it does ruin Monday. Just a tiny bit.
It's real.
Yeah, it is.
It's real.
It's why we look forward to it and we enjoy the weekend.
I know. It's what I want. In fact, like in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like I'm going to take a week off. Do you know what I'm looking forward to? Getting up whenever I want. You know what it doesn't say in this article that I find myself wondering is on Saturday, what I like to do is get up, eat breakfast, go back to bed.
Well, don't tell them that then, because technically you are getting up when you should be.
Right.
Yeah, you are doing that.
But what happens when I go back to bed? Is that good or bad?
That's a different study. That's a different one.
It doesn't say it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll head up there and ask them and then see how they feel about it being 3,390 days. We'll make it 91. It'll be tomorrow.
You know what? Just take the other study for that. Don't go doing that.
Okay.
Don't mention football.
There are some people that shouldn't have their own podcast. And by some people, we mean these people. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Do you smell elephant ears?
Elephant ears?
You know, like you get at the fair?
I don't think so, but I mean, you are on the other side of the desk. Maybe that's coming in from outside. Is the circus here?
I'm not kidding.
Why are you smelling that?
I don't know.
Do you need to Google that? Or
I mean, let's see if it's the...
Is it the coffee?
No, that doesn't smell like the circus.
Is it you?
Well, here's the thing that really bothers me is I really want one right now.
Well, why don't you, first off, it's probably a trap. Second, why don't you stick your head out the window and why do you go see?
Nikki, there's a clown out there.
Just go see what he wants.
Why don't I go out and ask him if he knows where I can get an elephant ear?
Maybe there's like a food truck out there and you have no idea and you won't know until you go peek your head out the window and see if there's a funnel cake out there.
He's motioning me. He has a balloon.
So friendly looking,
we
right?
We can both go out and get balloons, Nikki.
No, I'll stay here. You just tell me. And don't worry when I shut the window once you go outside. I'm just going to close it just, to make sure.
Okay, that's totally fine. I'll be back, hopefully, with some balloons and elephant ears.
Oh, you'll be back.
Yep.
I'm sure. But if not, I don't smell anything else. I still think it might be the coffee. Maybe the air from the windows coming in, pushing the coffee smell, and it's kind of going around you.
Yeah, maybe it's Bigfoot. Do you think Bigfoot maybe smells like a... He's probably out there behind the clown.
Yeah,
he's probably out there behind the clown.
Well, we got a lot going on out there, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you this, Nikki. When you find out what's going on with Bigfoot, you'll be glad I went out there.
Just to check?
We're going to get elephant ears. We're going to get balloons. And we're going to get money. Big time.
I don't want to tell everybody that. Like, did Obi seem good today? Was he happy and healthy and all this? And he just kept smelling elephant ears and funnel cakes.
And he was like, something about a balloon with a clown and Bigfoot.
And should we go outside the window? But I think he's doing really good. He's so glad to be back.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it sounds weird,
doesn't it?
Now it sounds all weird. Don't make it weird.
I'll hold the blinds. You just go on out there.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Before we go any farther, I just have to ask you a question. Would you be interested in $2.1 million?
Well, yeah. Let's. What do we need to do to make that happen?
Well, I want to put it in that context because I feel like if I started on the other end, you'd get all huffy. Like, this is stupid or whatever.
But if you're talking $2.1 million, now we're interested.
So here's the deal. Oklahoma City, listen up. Apparently, there is a bounty on Bigfoot. It's a big if, all right? If you can capture Bigfoot unharmed, you can't injure anyone in the process.
Oh, of capturing him?
Yeah. So, like, for example, let's say that you think Bigfoot is, a carnivore, and you're like, we'll take Billy and tie him to the tree, and then Bigfoot will come and we'll get him.
And then Bigfoot's eating Billy. Yeah. And you're like, but you're able to capture him from that?
What are you whining about? We can have more kids.
But you're not allowed to use that. And you're also not allowed to break any laws in the process in order to get the money.
That's right. So, in the middle of all of this, $2.1 million if you can capture them.
This is coming after a bill was proposed to allow the capture of the creature. And they're saying that state tourism officials are developing a Bigfoot promotional campaign, license plates, decals, stickers, tracking license stuff, checkout stations for Bigfoot, because they want to try to drum up some Bigfoot money, I guess, going into the economy. And they want to do some Bigfoot tracking like businesses along some parts in Oklahoma.
So here's what it comes down to.
To help the local communities.
Big Bigfoot paid for all this.
It seems like they're trying to make it like if you're looking for Bigfoot, you're coming there. And you could win the money, even though probably not.
Well, no offense, Oklahoma, but I thought if I was looking for Bigfoot, I needed to hit like the Canadian Rockies or something.
They say there. It's something. I haven't heard anything on that before, but they want to bring more people there for tourism.
I mean, bottom line is that you could make that up for anywhere. You're like, oh, yeah, Bigfoot's in the Florida Everglades. Now, there are snakes in there, too, so be careful.
I think it feels more like he would be down there or, like you were saying, someplace up north.
See, I feel like up north because allegedly Bigfoot is really hairy, and he doesn't want to be too hot. You know?
Well, maybe he travels and moves to different places.
Maybe he does.
But they want you to come there and spend your money. So they want to make it like a destination thing, a tourism thing.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
As we were headed into that off air, Nikki said the best sentence that she's maybe ever said, and that was, what came first, BMX Bandits or Rad?
Well, we had to put some context into this.
No, there's so much show history in this context that it's incredible.
There is these two old bike movies, and we were looking at this like Blu-ray 4K release schedule, and there's not much movies on it that aren't like re-releases because, you know, what movies have come out. And so one of it was Rad, which is this old bike movie.
1986.
Yeah. And in this movie, there's this old song called Send Me an Angel. And if you go back to RadioU's history, a band called Dennis and Mars covered that song.
Which Nikki loved.
Loved the cover, loved the song with it. And it just became like a thing. It's on our throwback channel.
It was
all that
a
stuff.
Nikki anthem.
Yeah,
okay?
I always enjoyed it. And so it was just always associated with that Rad movie. But there's this other one that starred Nicole Kidman like years before called Bmx Bandits.
Okay.
And we were just curious, like, oh, which one actually did come first? And, you know, they're just old movies that...
Oh, they're ancient and they're terrible.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh, I must go watch what they're talking about.
First off, Nikki was immediately like, don't buy me this movie. Don't buy it. I don't want it.
Even though it's coming out on Blu-ray. I was like, no.
It is coming out. They actually did a 4K remaster.
Oh, they did?
Of it. I'm reading about it here.
I don't want it.
So a couple of other pieces of interesting context. Lori Loughlin stars in Rad. She is one of the moms involved in the college
scandal
to get people in. And she's on every Hallmark movie and was also on Full House. There's her. As Nikki mentioned, BMX Bandits 3 years earlier, Nikki.
Oh, it did come earlier.
1983, starring Nicole Kidman.
Was it a worldwide release or just Australian?
No. It did get a worldwide release. I'm not going to lie. It didn't do that great in other territories, but it was released, and it's about BMX bandits that are solving a crime. So that
again, not good.
No, but that ties into something else that Nikki and I love very much, which is a British show called Mitchell and Webb, and they have a sketch called BMX Bandit and Angel Summoner. And it's all about the one guy.
Wait, do you hear this one?
It's all about the one guy who rides a BMX to fight crime. And he has all these elaborate ways that he's going to use his BMX bikes to solve crime. And he's hanging out with Angel Summoner. And it always comes down to, or I could summon a horde of angels.
And so they always go with that until one time Angel Summoner's like, no, we're doing it your way today. And of course, it's the most horrific setup for a BMX bike, like, way to take out the bandits.
It's so great.
Guys, I don't understand either, okay?
All I'm telling you is that I feel like maybe there are some of us that have been with the show long enough to appreciate all the different ways that this tied together, but I couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
I couldn't let it go.
Well,
it's film history. It's music history.
You're right.
It's British comedy.
You're right.
It's happening
everywhere.
in Australia. I mean, like, there's just all the little fingers and all the little pies.
I like it. Sometimes you guys ask us, you're like, what do you guys talk about in between when the songs are playing? That's
Stuff
it
like
right
that.
there.
Stuff like that. It gets real deep and weird.
It's, you know what? It's okay.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
I'm reading here the tale of Dr. Kylie Moore Gilbert. Now, she spent 2 years in prison in Iran. I don't know the whole story. Like, I haven't dug into it, but she's done Sky News in the UK.
Yeah.
There's like a really extensive interview with her talking about her time in confinement, what she did, whatever. But she spent a total of about 804 days in solitary confinement.
And it's not the same as like ours.
Right.
Just to let people know, because ours is, solitary confinement in jail here seems bad enough. But I was reading an article about like what she went through there, and it was just shocking.
2 meters by 2 meters. Was this, can you imagine having to live in that space? 2 meters by 2 meters, and you're completely and totally alone.
The thing that I was shocked, though, is like for me, if you ever were put in, confinement, would it be worse if it was completely quiet? Like, would that drive you crazy? But then they don't do that for their solitary stuff. They completely cover it, like nothing but light, loud noises, all this stuff to almost like you can't rest. You can't ever take a moment to sleep. It's just nothing but bombarding you with that. So for her, I was very curious to read more about like that's that style. It's not leave you alone with your thoughts and nothing else. It's completely different.
So she said that during that time, she tried several things to maintain sanity. She said yoga was one of them. She said meditation was one of them. But she said that there was one thing out of all the things that she could do to maintain her sanity that worked better than anything else. I'm in a store and I'm singing. She sang.
Oh, she did?
That's what she said. She said that singing more than anything else is what kept her on track. She said she would sing any and every song that she could remember. She would make up words if she had to. She said it was bad 90s pop. But she would sing. Aww. And that's what kept her on track. Now, of course, she says she's still dealing with the psychological trauma of what she's been through. But you know what? Yesterday on the show, one of the things we talked about is that about how powerful music is and how for me, I have been, as I've been, dealing with depression or whatever, I feel like God's been talking to me about singing. And when I read this morning, I was like, now, let's be clear. I'm not going through this. Like, this lady's been through some really hard stuff. But one of the things in the middle of all that she did was she sang. So, something to think about. Today, find some good music to sing. Good thing you're here at RadioU. And sing some good things as you go through some difficult times. I don't know, it resonated with me. I'm very sorry that she went through what she went through, but I'm also grateful that she is sharing her experience and what she's been through because learn a little bit there.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Just a heads up, if you're fat, you're more likely to die from COVID. Thank you.
You're just sliding that in there just to make everybody's day a little better. Is that it?
They just can't leave you alone.
I know, and I've told you, and I've asked in the past, like, what's the line there? What's the BMI thing or the... What do they say is the line of like no health or skinny enough or overweight?
Well, okay. I got a couple of things for you. I'm going to tell you what this article says. Then, has anybody else been to an infectious disease specialist for their COVID?
There's one in this room who has.
I got a little something I can share with you.
Of what they say?
Here we go. So in this study, this is just from the CDC. So the CDC is just spitting out data here. They say that as BMI goes up, so does the risk of being hospitalized, needing an ICU treatment, or being on a ventilator or dying.
Do they say that if then because you're overweight, you might have other health conditions associated or? I
don't know. I'm just telling you what this says. I didn't dig into it too far. 27% of people who died of coronavirus in the U.S. were overweight. And 46% of people who have died after hospitalization were obese. Keeping in mind that I believe obese is like there's overweight and then there's obese. Just to be clear, I'm Obesidiah.
Everybody finds themselves in the obese category, even though you thought you were just overweight.
That's where I'm at. So I went to the infectious disease specialist. And I'm not making it up. I went last week. I got tests run. I had CAT scans. They took blood. Basically wanted to make sure Obadiah is not infecting anybody. And I got on the scale. I right now weigh more than I've weighed in my entire life. I've never weighed as much as I weigh right now. It was a little disheartening. And the lady said to me, she goes, all right, first off, she's like, I haven't had anybody who has come in this clinic that has not gained at least 15 pounds during their time with COVID.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, oh, well, then I wouldn't be the fattest I've ever been. So that's good news. And the other thing she told me is she's like, I'm not kidding. She said this to me. She's like, don't let all this fat phobia freak you out in the medical community.
With the COVID
She was
stuff?
like, you're perfectly healthy aside from this and we'll work through it. Don't worry about it.
Well, that was a nice nurse. Well, isn't that... CDC could use a little... She
wasn't even a nurse. Like she was a, whatever you would call a student doctor.
Aw, Well,
Yeah.
I mean, normally you don't find someone so calm about things.
So I just thought I wanted to throw that out there. There's the CDC news that's circulating, and then there's the lady I went and saw at the infectious disease clinic.
I think she sounds like she understands.
I was like, thank you. I really am going to lose this weight because, like, I'm not even kidding. I can't live with this, but I got to tell you right now, like, I get tired when I walk around my block.
Yeah, but that's from COVID, and COVID being so tired is going to keep you from working out, which you always enjoyed doing.
It's a vicious cycle.
Aww.
I feel like I'm only going to feel better if I have a McNugget.
Well, I did just notice Luke texted us a pic of his breakfast this morning, and I thought, well, Luke, this isn't the right time to talk about this.
Wow, that looks delicious,
it looks good,
Luke.
doesn't it?
What does he eat? A hash brown, egg, bacon, cheese
on an English muffin with
ketchup and sriracha.
That's it. Sometimes you guys send us pics of your breakfast. It's not weird. It's not anything like that.
You think he made that at home?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like it. Looks delicious. Or no, wait, well, I can't tell.
I can't tell either. It's the chair and no, I think it's at home. The bowl, and then it's the orange that tells me it's at home because you're not going to Denny's and getting an orange.
Well, I thought it looked like a bit like Cracker Barrel or something. And then you're like, here, have an orange. But it's like a clementine.
Maybe.
Well, it looks delicious. And then just a reminder, don't worry, okay? Is that
it's
good?
fine.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
Let us know if you have any Kobe Bryant rookie cards you want to let us borrow.
Borrow. Or, if you forget that you let us borrow it, then we have, like, possession of it so we can do something with it.
It's fine. Did you see over the weekend the all-time record for any Kobe Bryant sports card was broken?
What was it for?
It was for his rookie card, and that would be it comes from the Topps Chrome Refractors edition, sold in 1996 to 1997, and they say the auction house called the quality of the card a condition assessment of unsurpassable magnitude.
So like it was in good condition?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you've ever looked at this and had something professionally graded, it's usually a 10 scale.
Yeah.
And there are different categories for it. This card scored a 10 in every single category.
Which means when the person got it, it went right into like a sleeve or something, or
Vacuum
like a card
sealed.
case. Because normally it would just show some wear and tear from when you were too young to know that. It would have been worth something.
This card sold for $1.795.
$1 million?
$1 million,
Oh, my gosh. Good for them.
So essentially $1.8 million.
I forget about sports cards. I forget about that being still a thing.
But I don't think it is what it used to be.
No, and I doubt it's like now not really a thing, like with current players.
Right.
I think just shoes are still more the collector side of that.
Oh, man. Shoe culture is a whole other thing. But, yeah, it's amazing to me to see. I don't know. Like, when I looked at sports cards, I always thought it was such an odd thing because I guess it's like a lot of other things. They just manufacture fewer items just to give something value.
Sure.
I don't know. Felt like
it's a lot
gambling.
like comic books.
Or but comic books to me are, okay. This to me is the difference between sports cards and comic books, is that to me, a comic book has a value that exceeds that because I'm getting a story, I'm being involved in characters, whatever. Sports cards are just a picture of the guy.
Yeah, but it was supposed to then carry you into the sport itself. So that was the story of like following the person's career and watching them play.
I watched them on TV and held their card?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
I think so. Compared to like, the story that was put together for the comic book.
So you're saying that I was a co-author in the story as I held the card and watched it.
Yes.
It was participation art.
Yeah, I think so. And then that got you more excited about all the
Web
cards.
2.0, Nikki.
It is. It is. That got you into it. And then you'd collect the cards of the players that you liked. And, maybe you got one that'd be worth money now.
It was never my thing, but I had a lot of friends. It was their thing. So, hey, if you have a friend or family member that has a box somewhere that they've forgotten about, you should go through that box.
Why don't you help them just offer to clean out and just, see what it'd be worth?
Look for Kobe.
They catch you in there and you're like supposed to be cleaning out, but you're on your phone looking up every card.
Oh, well.
Just to see if something's worth money.
It's fine. Don't worry yourself about it.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So I think we can all agree that there's a sometimes bizarre relationship between college sports and professional sports, because what do we have? We have a lot of student athletes that enter college with the intention of never finishing.
Sure.
Because they just need to get a couple more years of development so that they can then enter professional sports. It is what it is. That's for my friend Drew, if he's listening. He loves that.
It's what it is.
It is what it is. But there's a new basketball league that is emerging called Overtime Elite. It is there basically to target the best of the best in high school basketball players, ages 16 to 18. Players will be able to earn up to $100,000.
Oh, so they can make money from it? Wow, that is interesting.
They get health and disability insurance, college tuition, but because they do this, they surrender their NCAA eligibility.
Okay.
And so that means that...
So they're just really wanting to transition from this right into playing professional.
So Obadiah, who has unheard of, unforeseen skills in the basketball arena, finds himself playing for these teams. And then, lo and behold, he decides that he wants to forsake the NBA and become the brain surgeon he always dreamed of. But maybe that scholarship can help him pay his way through. That's a negative.
Yeah.
You've accepted money for playing basketball, and as a result, you cannot play for the NCAA.
So basically, they'll pay to the top players of high school players $100,000, health benefits. You can profit off your name, your image, your likeness. You'll get equity in overtime and the digital media stuff that goes around it. If you don't want to go pro after 2 years, then they'll cover $100,000 of your college tuition.
Right. And then they're saying that the NBA has the G League, which is very similar to this, but the NBA has supposedly, now keeping in mind we're wandering into territory that I don't know a whole lot about, but supposedly the NBA is kind of giving the thumbs up like, hey, if you guys want to do this. The idea is they're trying to recruit 30 players by this September, and that's when the league will get started.
Interesting. Now, they're saying watch because it's in what they call survival mode from the pandemic and from COVID. It has a lot of investors and backers, but we've seen a lot of leagues just fizzle out because they just don't have enough money. You would hate to sign or get so involved with something that couldn't make it. Right.
So I suppose it's a risk either way. I just know that if you right now said to me, Obadiah, come over here, we're going to give you $100,000, I'd be like, bye!
Going, bye-bye. I think that's only if you decide to go to college, though, that you get that. Yeah. And if you don't stay with them. But we have long had a problem with college sports on the fact that players don't make any money when schools make so much off of them, and that needs an overhaul, too.
I completely agree with you. I don't have the answer for it.
But we feel like something's in the setup completely wrong.
Yeah. So, anyway, if you're on your way to being an NBA star, here's another option for you. Anybody? Hands? Anyone?
Anyone? Do you fit any of this?
I don't know. Maybe,
but still a neat idea for them to make some money while they're doing all that.
Yeah. So it is called the Overtime Elite. And that's the name of the league.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Cow cuddling, Nikki.
Oh, is that a thing we can do? Are we supposed to touch the cows? Are we allowed to?
It's the answer right here. Scottsdale, Arizona.
Move over, goats.
There is a group where you can just go in and they have apparently this is something that started with the Dutch. They say that they have been known for cuddling cows for a while. And they say that it's therapeutic.
Good for your health and stuff?
Essentially, one of the things that we as people like, oh gosh, okay, I wasn't going to say this, but I will. Non-sexual touch.
Sure.
Meaning that in a lot of ways we associate every touch with something like that. But as human beings, we actually crave physical connection that is not more than just that kind of touch.
And they're saying coming off the pandemic and stuff with the year of you just not being around people, friends, family, not having that touch. It's why adopting and buying pets was so popular last year, because you just wanted something around you that you could cuddle and hold.
You want a hug?
Yeah, you wanted a hug from something. And why not a 2,000-pound cow?
Yeah, I love giving people hugs. It's way not accepted. I mean, even before the pandemic, people, and that's fine. You don't want a hug,
but
it's fine.
especially now, I don't know if it'll ever go back to quite the same. But they have cows, some who were rescued from different dairy farms and stuff, that you can go there and end up spending time and kind of lay in the pasture and give the cow a little hug.
Yeah.
So you can cuddle. It's the animal sanctuary in Queen Creek, Arizona.
Now, don't be mad when I say this. Mm-hmm. I find this to be somewhere between awesome and pathetic, and I can't decide which one.
I bet it'd be more awesome if you were there doing it.
But the reason I say this, now I don't mean that it's bad if you want to go hug a cow, go for it. By pathetic, I just mean that society is in a place right now that is a little pathetic because we have isolated ourselves. I'm not saying we didn't need to. I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying there's something kind of sad that when we want a hug, we're at a point right now.
You go to the sanctuary.
That we're like, you know what? I need a hug. I'll be back. I've got to find a cow.
It didn't just start with that. This sanctuary's been around for about 5 years. They get about 20 calls a day to schedule a service where it's $75 an hour. They're booked up till July, and you can go to the farm. They have about 100 rescued animals, a lot of them with disabilities, and you just go and spend time with the animals.
So for $300, you get 90 minutes with the cows.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then as Nikki said, they have a bed and breakfast and things. So it's just a great way.
It's kind of like going to a cat cafe or one of those type of style places. We don't have cows in our lives or farm animals. You just go there and see them.
I don't know if I could do it.
Oh, I've never touched, I'm sure I pet a cow, but I've not hugged one, and it seems a bit intimidating for this city gal, but I think I would probably like it.
See, my thing is I could give a cow a hug, but this is 90 minutes.
Well, well, you have your phone with you. I'm sure if you get bored,
hanging out,
you're supposed to just
let
them kind of take a nap around you, or just hug them for a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think I could.
I bet you get there and you're like, that was the best nap you've ever had.
Yeah,
you just have to keep going back.
I slept on this cow.
Oh, the pictures are really nice.
It was amazing.
They look so cute. They look like they really like hugging with people.
You know what? We should try it. I've still got my expense card. Let's just go.
Is there anyone who has a sanctuary with some rescue animals that we could go?
I bet there's one around here.
Spend some time.
There's a llama farm by my house. Never knew. There's an alpaca farm by my house. There's all kinds of weird stuff out there that you don't know anything about.
There's a peacock sanctuary near mine. It's very weird.
Do you know? I think I've been there.
Yeah.
Do they also sell plants?
I don't think they do that.
Okay, I went to a plant place that had 3 peacocks, and I was like, what are we doing?
Well, I think also some houses, you guys just have some unique exotic animals, and you just call it a sanctuary, maybe for taxes or something. I don't know, but really just you have some birds at your house.
So, cuddle.
We're listening to the worst of the riot. Radio U.
Lots of opinions on this,
animal sanctuary?
Cow cuddling.
Yeah.
Stacy wants to know, do you think they serve steak at that bed and breakfast? Because you can cow cuddle and then go to the bed and breakfast there.
That would be like the time I went to a turtle sanctuary, and then at the end you could buy turtle meat, and I was extremely upset. So.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's how they fund it all. Some turtles get to stay in the sanctuary for a little bit, and then at the end, then they go to the restaurant.
Nikki, the bell tolls for us all.
I know, but I didn't know that going in, and I thought they should have disclosed that. It was that type of place.
Gamera is really neat. He is full of turtle meat. Aww. We love Gamera.
Well, I just wasn't okay with it.
Okay, Jocelyn wants to know where she can find that peacock sanctuary you were talking about.
It's just their house, and it's just where they have peacocks.
Man, Josh, actually, I want you to know, if we were giving out awards today, Josh wins. Didn't even occur to me to take this angle, and this is perfect, Josh.
Well, this cow sanctuary can go pay like $75 to $300 to spend a few hours with cows and other sanctuary animals to cuddle them and kind of have a little interaction.
So Josh says, you're telling me a cow makes $75 an hour?
Yep.
Not only am I in the wrong profession, but I'm the wrong species.
You're doing it wrong.
Then it occurred to me, I would like $300. You want to cuddle with me for 90 minutes? $300.
Oh, sold.
It's got to be in public.
It's not a weird thing. Don't make it weird. This is purely about just a hug and just being around these creatures.
Also, I'm probably going to watch TV.
I told Obi that's more like a relationship then. That's too much like one.
$300.
Yeah. But some of that goes to the farm, to keep it going.
I mean,
takes a lot of money to run a sanctuary.
I'm sure it does, but not at these prices.
If it is, I want to see their books. I want to know how this is.
I'll tell you what, right? I'm telling you right now. Let's see. Jason wants to know if I'm allergic to cows. Probably.
Yeah, I bet you are. If you're allergic to dogs,
everything.
If you're allergic to dogs, you're just animals just across the board.
I feel like half my neighborhood just bought a dog. That must be the pandemic thing.
It is.
And so I'm out there and people... It's like that thing where it's like, am I going to be nice to your dog? And then I have to go inside and scrub my hands and I still have hives? Or do I just say to you, I'm really sorry, I'm allergic?
Maybe like my dog Rollo, he's hypoallergenic. Maybe they have cows like that you could have. It's going to be more money. Because they cost more money.
Oh, I want to have that discussion. I want to have that discussion.
You go in.
Hey, do you guys have any hypoallergenic cows?
Because I have allergies.
And the farmer's like, would you just get a dog? Get a hypoallergenic dog.
You could.
But I want a cow.
You go to the farm, they're like, oh my gosh, what's with these people? He actually has an allergy. It's not like a thing.
Oh, it's devastating. The more exotic the animal, usually the worse it is. Let's see. Zach says, I had a cow in 4-H when I was younger. It was like having a big dog. I believe that.
Aww.
Except, your dog didn't go off to the fair to win the
to win the big prize?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to talk anymore.
You know what the prize is.
Yeah, I don't want it. It's fine. They look so sweet in the pictures, Why? Why do I love to eat them so much? It's just awful.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Carl, gosh.
You guys are just texting now.
Carl
just awful
says,
stuff.
No, Carl, this is a good one. Nikki, in relation to your turtle story, my budding medical career was cut short before it could take off. When in 3rd grade, our teacher dissected a baby pig, and later that night, my mom served pork chops.
Oh, that's awful.
I did that in advanced bio.
You did the baby pig thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
why are we talking about this, guys?
Why
did we were just talking about hugging cows. Why do we have to go over to this side?
Yeah. All right. Well, Nikki, it just goes to show you that our relationships with animals are complicated.
The Riot RadioU.
Oh, I gotta take a break.
Is it too much?
Yeah, you guys are killing me. I'll tell you what I need a really nice chair in here. You know what I thought was a nice looking chair? Did you see those chairs in the Oprah Meghan Markle interview?
I did not.
We
promised each other we weren't going to watch it.
I know, but I just saw photos and I thought, oh, you know what? That is the chair we are looking for. And now I find out it's completely sold out online.
Everybody wants it? Of course.
Everybody's buying the chairs.
Our desk, we couldn't do a chair like that. We have to have the taller ones.
No. I think I could. I mean, it would be hard. It would be hard to
like
reach the screen. I know, but I feel like I could tilt this microphone down just so. And then I could be so Oprah.
Chris really set
Obadiah.
Chris really set a nice space up for you over there. I don't know if you brought in this chair. Would he be really excited?
Yeah, I requested and received a very large monitor for this space. It's nice.
So you don't need anything else. The chair is good. But if we were to buy it, how much is it?
Well, you know what, Nikki? I could get you a pair of these. I mean, pre-interview, of course. $554.
For the pair?
Yeah.
That's kind of expensive, but not as bad as I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, if Oprah's sitting on it, I assume it must cost $100,000 at least.
I thought this interview was done at the one person who's her friend who does
No, she says it's not at her house.
That's not at that one person?
I just want to be clear. I only know any of this from headlines. I haven't read into any of this, but the amount of knowledge I have gleaned from headlines makes me want to die a little inside.
We can't stand any more of this story.
Oh
and then
gosh.
each day they're like, here's more clips of unseen footage. I can't stand any more of it. I feel like it's not quite to the political level that we had here, but I'm just tired of seeing it all.
That being said, I love the fact that these chairs are sold out. It's so.
I'm sure the chairs, I'm sure the clothes, like all that stuff would sell out.
I understand the impetus. People are like, I want those chairs. I want those chairs. I don't even think like that. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm watching TV, it doesn't occur to me, one, it doesn't occur to me to like the chair. And then two, it doesn't occur to me to move ahead and buy the chair.
Well, I think you got a couple of different styles of people. One, maybe you were just looking for some outdoor furniture and you're like, well, that looks really good. And you just happen to look at it. Or there's others who want to get the item because it was used in the interview.
To me, that feels like that's it.
Yeah, I think there's probably some people that aren't as driven by that part, but they're like, yeah, that's a great looking chair. I'll buy it.
I'm going to need to interview everyone who's bought these chairs. I've got to find out why they bought them.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the other side of it is maybe I'm being too harsh because it's
not the chair's fault.
Well, no, it's not. It just wants to be a chair. All right. It just wants to cuddle you. All right. It's paying a lot of money to sit there and cuddle with you.
It just wants to be sold and just to come to a nice house and people to enjoy.
But I mean, like, for example, I want to buy the speakers that we have in the radio studio.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy them because they're here. But when they were here, I saw them and thought, wow, I love these. They would be perfect for this space.
There you are.
And so I wanted to buy them.
All right. Well, I would like tomorrow when we wake up there to be less news about the Oprah interview. And then, by the end of this week, if it could really just go away a bit.
I think it's time for you and I to give up. Let's start grabbing clips and let's do a deep dive on this thing.
On the show for everybody?
Yes.
Well, I think as deep as we go would be the talk about the chairs selling out.
I give up. I surrender.
Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Most of what we do starts right there in our mind. Like, it's just right there in our brain. So, for example, if I think to myself, Nikki and I really deserve cake, that's where it starts. And then as I think about it day after day,
seed?
You feel like it's been coming out a lot. I keep talking about cake.
Well, I know our show anniversary was last week and we didn't get it, but it has popped up a few times to where I'm noticing it.
You start thinking about cake. You start talking about cake. Pretty soon, you know what you're doing? You're buying and eating a cake. So if I really wanted to keep myself from buying and eating a cake, I probably need to really stop talking about it. And the way to get myself to stop talking about it is to try to get myself to stop thinking about it. Now, I will tell you, if you start saying to yourself, don't think about cake.
Well, then welcome to only thinking about cake.
That's your whole life now. All that you'll think about is cake and not thinking about it. What you got to do is you got to find some space. You got to put something else in there. You got to change your mind. How do you do that? I mean, I could give you a few different ways, but one of the things that God says that he wants to do for us is he wants us to renew our mind. He's going to help us do that. He's literally going to give us a different kind of brain to think in different ways. Will it happen instantaneously? Maybe not. We may find ourselves in a position where in some cases, we really do think differently and act differently. In other cases, we may need God's help over time to change habits, change ideas, do things differently. I think you'll see, honestly, when you start asking God for help, I think you'll see a little bit of both. I think that you'll see some things that will change right away, other things that will change over time. So if you want to stop not thinking about cake or whatever it is that you're trying to work through, I think God is a great place to start because he wants to start helping you on the inside. Inside changes, outside changes. Outside changes, you could still be on the inside just thinking about cake all day long.
Maybe we should get you just a slice.
Just a piece.
A sliver or something.
Just like,
maybe that'll take the edge off of it.
So look, whatever it is that you know, there's something in there that needs change. You can just say, Jesus, there's a change here and I need your help. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit, and you know what needs to change. And you might already know God. You might know what needs to change. You know what? Start asking for help with that and going his way, asking him to help literally change your mind. Because, I mean, sometimes you don't even want to, but God will help you if you ask.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, you and I need to figure out a way to disguise ourselves as the University of Oregon.
As the whole school, or like we're students at the school?
No, I think as the school.
As the school? Why?
Well,
oh, I see why. You want the money, don't you?
Okay,
when I say it that way, is it too much?
It cheapens me when you say it that way.
Does it? But you want the $270 million?
Yeah, that's right.
I guess I assume Nike always paid for everything for the University of Oregon.
They pretty much do. I mean, the University of Oregon practically has a blank check from Nike. I think it's because one of their founders went to school there.
Sure.
And so also, you know, the University
the Ducks
of Oregon, dem Ducks, have a history of being famous for their running and their tracks in Prefontaine.
Sure.
Boy, don't tell somebody that runs track that you don't know who Prefontaine is. Well, you haven't seen the movie?
They're going to make you watch it?
What are you talking about?
Well, for the University of Oregon, they're going to reopen soon its 100-year-old track stadium. That's where the $270 million goes to its renovation. And that was through donors, and Nike, they were funding a lot of that through the co-founder, Phil Knight.
Have you seen? He has, over the course of the last however many years, given about $1 billion.
I'm not kidding. When that ends, how do you keep going with that school? Because they depend on that.
That is unbelievable. So the field has gone from seating 12,000 people to 25,000 people.
There's barbershop, health clinic stuff with it. So there's a lot with the stadium and just, redoing stuff, renovations for the school itself.
Unbelievable.
It looks nice. It's got a museum, an athlete lounge for the students. You get a 10-story tower that you can go up for a nice view of the area.
It's crazy.
That's where the money goes.
That is crazy.
Follow the money.
It goes straight back to Nike. So, and you know what? There's part of you. I mean, Nike. I don't think it's actually Nike that's paying for this.
No, it's the guy.
It's the guy.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me is that, remember, he gets his money from your $250 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the money.
It is shocking when you see donations of this kind because, again, this person has more, this isn't what he's living on. This is his donation amount.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if it takes time, and I'm sure that helps with tax purposes. I'm sure, but $270 million, University of Oregon, it looks nice.
Yeah, it does. And I'll throw out that having visited Eugene quite a bit because I have family there, Nike's everywhere.
Well, they pay enough for it.
Everywhere.
The Riot Podcast. Radio U.
I am willing to, what?
Just want to take a sip.
Me too. Can we both do that?
That's good. That'll do.
Eric just dropped by.
Some soda.
He brought us sodas.
You don't want to be a rude guest. You don't want to drop by and not bring something with you. And so you
Eric's not a guest. He lives here.
You just bring some soda with you, some fountain drink, and that'll work.
Drink a little coffee, a little soda. Mm-hmm. Drink to drink. Oh, it's good. It's good.
So thank you for bringing those.
Hope you guys have a nice day.
Well, I think that was a teachable moment. I mean, we did teach, hey, if you go see somebody, I don't know, grab a drink to take with you.
It doesn't have to be something expensive.
And a lot of people think fancy, are we talking a bottle of wine? No. We're saying a soda from the soda fountain.
Hey, you know what?
That's fancy right there.
You guys may or may not know I'm a huge fan of Seinfeld, even though it's been off the air for a million years. I love it. And there's an episode where they get in a fight over whether they should take a bottle of wine or a bottle of Pepsi.
I didn't know that.
And George
That's
is
perfect.
He's like, yeah, you can say what you want, but I bring in that Pepsi, I become the big hit of the party. Everybody's everybody wants the wine, but I'm excited about the Pepsi.
I know, you want the soda, right? We'll forgive him for the Pepsi part, but...
Yeah, it's still Pepsi, but you get the idea.
Yeah, the soda will work.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, show up at my house with a 2-liter, you're right on in. Come on in.
That says friendship right there. That says hello, welcoming, all the fun stuff.
You know what I haven't stopped thinking about since the day he brought it?
The breakfast pizza.
The breakfast pizza.
Eric brought in breakfast pizza a few weeks. It was at the gas station, and it's got eggs on it. Like, it's really good. It's shockingly good.
I keep thinking about going and getting some.
We can go get it anytime. It's over there. I wonder if they have it before the show. What if?
Whoa. Excuse
There's a lot of breakfast places are not open at
you can't get jack squat to eat
at the
before
5
the show
a.m.
starts.
hour, but I bet you the breakfast pizza at the gas station, they're open.
I almost don't want to know if that's true, because right now I don't have to fight the temptation to not go get the breakfast pizza because in my mind it's not available.
You know what you should do?
What?
Call and ask. Hey. It won't be me coming in. I mean, I'm sure no one else has asked, but
man, they answer the phone and they're like, "How did you get this number?" They didn't even know that phone worked.
Do you have breakfast pizza at 5 a.m. each day? Weekdays only, right? That's only when we're working.
Yeah, I had a gas. Man, what are we doing here? It's true confessions. Was it Saturday? No, it was Sunday morning. There is a gas station, a Duchess, like BP Duchess thing.
Yeah.
They have these things called the sausage, egg, and American cheese stuffers.
Is your American in there?
I'm not American.
Yeah, you like American cheese.
And it's, Nikki, it's...
The stuffer? Never heard of a stuffer.
It's like it's all baked inside a little biscuit.
Yeah.
It's stuffed in the biscuit. Oh, man.
All right, well, sorry, guys.
I'm sure...
Everybody's going to the gas station now.
They're just microwaving that thing.
Oh, you know they are.
Know.
It's not
But
made
you know
with
what?
love. They don't care.
That's the thing that makes it so hard it's like, how can you... This is trash.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Everybody bring your toilet paper. We got to talk next.